Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Michi Makes Up. In today's video, I want to accomplish two things. First is to preview SUQQU's Summer 2023 collection. I just got an email from them a couple of days ago where they revealed the collection, and on Instagram for some time now you can see swatches of all the items and really some comparisons against each other. So in this collection there's going to be 2 quads, 2 blushes, 2 lipsticks, a few nail polishes, and I think a 1 lip gloss, which is in their new formulation, the lip treatment wrap, or the wrapping lip treatment. And the second thing I want to do in this video is just to give a high-level review of the SUQQU melting powder blushes. And if you have not heard already, those blushes are being discontinued, and the reason for that is they're not able to source, I guess, all the ingredients required for these blushes, and so that's why they're being discontinued. And I do want to give Mel a shout out again, who is a friend of this channel. She was the one who actually made me aware, and then I looked further into it. So as of now, if you're interested in the melting powder blushes, they are very limitedly available on or at Selfridges, Liberty London, and Harrods. So if you are interested, I will have the links below, and I mean, I think they're great. I don't have any blush on today because I do want to apply 2 of the melting powder blushes for you, just for a brief look here, as well as doing swatches of what I have in my collection. So any retailers that still carry those blushes I will have below, and I actually did order a couple of them that I don't have in my collection, and they will be arriving, which I'll probably swatch to post on Instagram, TikTok, etc. So if you're not following me on those social channels, feel free to follow me. I do try to update there every now and then share deals with you guys on there, as well as on the community tab on my channel. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into the preview of the new collection. So this new collection, by the way, it just looks gorgeous because they're doing something a little bit different that I haven't seen before. It looks like the compacts are either in this silvery or white color, maybe a combination of the two. And of the 2 eyeshadow quads, each of them in the color story will have a dual chrome. I've never seen SUQQU, first of all, in this packaging, and second, I've never tried or seen them release duochromes in a quad. So I'm very, very excited for this, and from the swatches, it just looks really promising. I think one of the 2 duochromes are going to be way more pigmented than the other, but nonetheless, I am intrigued by both of them, and actually I will be picking up most of this collection if I'm able to. So the collection is officially going to be launched at Selfridges May 11th and May 12th at Harrods and Liberty London. The entire collection is limited edition, so if you are interested, definitely keep an eye for that launch date. I will post links on the community tab and on Instagram, etc., so that you guys you know, have some more ways to be notified. So let's review, or let's take a look at the quads first. The first one is 125, and this just looks gorgeous. The duochrome on here is definitely the standout shade, and it looks like it's pretty pigmented, much more than what we're used to seeing from SUQQU. Actually, in fact, the swatches remind me of the duochrome shades that I've seen from Natasha Denona, and even to some extent Pat McGrath. I'll be really intrigued to do some comparisons there if I get my hands on it, but overall the color story is going to have, looks like 1 to 2 matte shades with a deep plum purple, and or maybe actually a purple, mauvey purple, and then there's going to be like a beigey peach shade, and then a light kind of lid topper pink. And then for the second quad, which is 126, that one is more red leaning. So we got that red kind of matte shade, plus a very light, almost a very light yellow or champagne-like lid topper, plus a maybe a medium pinkish rose shade. That one looks shimmery to me. So I think it's going to be like a metallic shimmer plus a matte shade, the duochrome and the lid topper here. So it looks like, I'm going to backtrack a bit. It looks like for quad 125, we're going to get those same kind of textures. One very light lid topper that has no undertone to it. And then that peachy beige shade will be that kind of metallic finish plus the deep mauvey purple matte and the duochrome. Going back to 126, we have kind of that same format, and the duochrome looks lighter than the one on 125, so it's kind of shifting purple pink, like a frosty color story here, whereas the duochrome on 125 is like green to peach with like a deep undertone. So very beautiful, very interesting. I have not seen SUQQU do any of that, so I think this collection is going to be extremely popular for that reason. And moving on to the blushes, they have two options, blush 140 and 141. So they both have this like marble, I want to say it's not embossing, but I guess a marble combination pattern on the blush. These do kind of look like melting powder blushes, but they are not. They're actually pure color blushes. So the formulation is going to be the pure color, and I expect it to be really, really gorgeous. It's not the first time we've seen this like marble pattern on SUQQU's blushes, or I should say cheek product, because I'm going to show you. Last summer they released for the first time a melting powder formulation highlighter, and this is limited edition, but you see it has that marble effect to it, and the blushes are going to look very similar. I'll have, you know, photos of everything as I'm talking about it, but it's going to be basically looking like this, and but different formulation. So this is a highlighter. It looks like each one of the blushes, like in collections past, they're going to maybe correlate a little bit more to one eyeshadow quad than the other. Then we have like corresponding lipstick shades. They're called marble color lipsticks. We have shade 101, which matches blush 140. And then shade 102, which matches blush 141. So hopefully I can get my hands on those. And then the treatment wrapping lip gloss. Actually, we'll have two shades, and we have one that's kind of this like silvery, which looks like a very light undertone, or I don't even know if there's an undertone, but it looks like very much kind of a topper here. So that's 102, and 103 is going to be like that cool purpley, maybe with a blue kind of shift to it. So looks really beautiful, and I love that, you know, the whole collection has this cool marble vibe to it. And you know, when you look at a piece of marble, for example, that's what this really reminds me of. Every shade is kind of on the cool tone, which is really interesting because during the summertime we're expecting to see more warmer shades, deeper shades, but I think here we get everything in a cooler undertone. And then for nail polishes, there's going to be three shades. 151, which looks to be a cool kind of bronzy shade, and then 152, which is very much in line with the duochrome, at least from the photos of that 126 quad. And then 153, which is like a frosty blue. I mean, these are beautiful. If I can find swatches of the nail polish, I'll post it on, or I'll add it to the video as well. So that is the SUQQU 2023 summer collection. I'm so excited, so excited. If you are interested in pre-ordering this collection, which I think at this time they're still going to be available. I'm still waiting to hear back, but I'll share the email also below so you can reach out to the counter. Typically there's going to be some kind of spend requirement to get free shipping. It is the Selfridges counter who will be helping you when they respond to the email, so there's going to be some kind of like minimum spend. If you have the Selfridges kind of unlimited shipping where you pay once and you get unlimited shipping for the entire year. I believe you can use it for these SUQQU orders. So definitely check with them if you do have it, and be sure that's kind of mentioned if you see shipping cost for your order. Okay, so for the next portion, I'm going to move on to the melting powder blushes. I do have a dedicated video to when these blushes first launched, and so link below to that playlist if you're interested, but I'm really actually pretty sad that these are being discontinued. I think they are probably some of the best makeup that I have seen released since I started this channel, and I say that because they just come up with these really beautiful and flattering shades for different skin tones, and they have this, it's a very Hourglass like ambient powder effect, but I would even dare to say like smoother than that. And they're just the payoff and how it just melds into your skin makes it so seamless. And even though depending on the shade you get pops of color here and there, it still gives somehow a very natural finish that's just very blended in. It feels very effortless to apply them, and I've just been enjoying them ever since I picked them up. And I've been adding, whenever they are part of like a limited collection release, like a seasonal release, I've been like adding 1 or 2 here to my collection. So to date I have, let me see, 5 different colors. I've picked up a few that I'm waiting for them to arrive. By the way, the couple of melting powder blushes that I've picked up recently, I'm still waiting for them to arrive, but I did get them from Cult Beauty, and they are also selling the last powder blush stock that they have. And at the time of filming, just before I sat down, they still have some available, so the link will be below. And my friend Mel, she was kind of informing me of the situation. She did also reach out to Selfridges at SUQQU, or maybe it was Selfridges UK representative. They basically said they will continue to sell powder blushes until the stock is completely out. So sometimes Selfridges will get, especially for their seasonally limited collections, they'll sell out and they'll get a little bit of stock and then they'll sell out again. There's a chance that like those seasonal collections, these melting blushes are sold out, but they may get a little bit of stock, in which I know they're gonna put and sell. Keep looking, keep checking. If the color you're looking for is out, there's probably also some shopping services where they can pick some up directly from Japan and send them to you if you would really, really like. If you want to find out more, you can always message me on Instagram and I'll see what kind of shopping services might be good. I have a few in mind that you could probably look into. So message me if that's the way you want to go. For this last part, I'm going to move into actually applying the powder blushes and swatching them for you, so you guys get a sense of like how smooth these powders are. So I'm actually going to apply blush on 2 different shades, one on each side of the cheeks. I have 2 blushes here that I think are going to be obvious candidates for the makeup look I have on today. The first one will be Blush 02 Haru Oto, and I think this one's really obvious, an obvious fit. So let's get that shade on. And so I got a good amount of product on here. I am using, this is Sonia G's Mini Niji Keiki, or Mini Keiki Niji brush, and it's just so easy to use. My only, not issue, but just to be aware, so you guys are aware, I am still experiencing some of the hairs coming off. So I tapped off a little bit of the excess, but I just want to show you how, just how beautiful it glides on. The brush certainly helps with that, and it's giving me that swept upward shape. And I don't always go for this shape, although I tend to do it with this brush for obvious reasons, because it's like that fan. But look how smooth that is. I am obsessed with these blushes. So that's 02 Haru Oto. The next one, and I think this one's going to be an obvious choice too because it's a bit lighter than what I have, the rest of the shades I have, is Komeguri, which is a coral shade. However, instead of going for the obvious, I'd like to go for maybe something unexpected. I have something very bright, number 6, Yubae, and I might go with this shade, pairing something that's purple, deeper, I wouldn't say subdue, deeper, has that like deeper intensity, and pair it with something really bright might provide a fun contrast. Or we could go with something that's very neutral. There's also shade 06, Sanzaki. This is very neutral. This really is a very fall winter vibe. We could do that. And then there's the ever so bright, this is one is a limited edition. It's 101 Hoteiro. So this is gorgeous as well. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna go with 06 Yubae. You might still be able to pick this one up. Last I checked, you can actually still get 101 Hoteiro from Selfridges. So I'm gonna go with, I'll swatch them all, but I will put Yubae on my cheeks. So this is Yubae, kind of in that upswept motion here. I think both actually goes with the look. It really is preference. I think this is kind of more on the nose because it's like berry, pink, it's more on the nose. This one has, depending on your skin tone, can be more flattering. I do find with my neutral tones, and I am light to medium skin tone, I do find generally coral toned, whether it's like subdued, pastel, all the way to the brights, they tend to work very well for me, regardless of like, you know, how well each of the pieces go together. So that is Yubae number 6. Okay, moving on to the swatches. I'm gonna go ahead with the limited edition Hoteiro, and notice that metallic finish here. Most of SUQQU's makeup is fairly subdued, but they all have this like watercolor, like a wash of color that it gives you quality to the makeup. It's just very smooth and easy to blend. Then we have the shade I just put on, which is number 5 Yubae. So got two brights, side-by-side comparison. One is definitely more bronzy orange and the other is more coral orange. Next is 02 Haru Oto, which I have on the right side of my cheek. It's a beautiful pink tone. The quality of these blushes really do remind me of the Ambient powders. I have the Edit Universe palette, which I'll swatch for comparison right at the end here. So this is Sanzaki, that very neutral but kind of beigey pink blush. 03 Komeguri. You know, what's really beautiful about these blushes is that they blend beautifully, they diffuse really easily, but they're generally more pigmented than the pure color blushes. I'm going to see with the summer collection that's coming out what the payoff is going to be like, but when I look at a pure color blush like this, for example, and this one is 31 limited edition that was released last year, I'm just going to sweep it this way. So you can see how much lighter it is. Still has that beautiful glowing softness to it, but it does not generally, with the pure color blushes, have that same kind of payoff. And it just depends on the shade too. They definitely have releases in the past that were more pigmented. And I'm doing a second application, and you can build on it as well. It's just these are kind of one swatch versus this really delicate purple iridescent shade. Because I have all the melting powder blushes out, I'm going to also swatch the highlighter for you. This is 101 Kagero. It's a pretty intense champagne rose gold type of highlighter. And then for the last part, I do want to just quickly swatch the two blushes and highlighter from Hourglass's Ambient Edit universe. And it's not lost on me that the Ambient powders do have this marble pattern to them, which is nice to see from another brand. And for SUQQU, it's not a typical thing that they do, so it might just be a limited edition. Very similar, I guess, smoothness and quality to the melting blushes, with the main difference being these are more sparkly. You can really see the little specks of sparkle. This one here, they are very subdued in comparison. Like there's no micro glitter actually. These have that kind of metallic sheen, a subdued metallic sheen to them. These actually have sparkle to them. And then for the Hourglass highlighter, definitely see the sparkles. If I had to pick one over the other, and these are beautiful in itself from Hourglass, I would much prefer the SUQQU versions of the product, just because they don't have those glitter specks in them, and I feel like that's what I gravitate towards day to day. It's just less glitter, less sparkly specks, and more just of a glow and sheen. That's kind of my preference. Well, thank you guys for watching. I'm so glad I got the time to preview SUQQU's Summer 2023 makeup collection with you, and also talk about the powder blushes, the melting powder blushes. They're just gorgeous. I hope you guys get your hands on one of them or two of them just to try it out if you haven't already. If you have a couple of them or just finding out that they're being discontinued, I hope you can get your hands on more if that's what you choose to do. And the rest of the makeup that I have on today is actually also SUQQU. I have the 107 Fluid Lip Fog. I do love their Fluid Lip Glow and Fog formulation. Fog has a matte finish. And for the eyes, I have 107 Tsuyukiri, and I figure this is just very on the nose with my dress. So that's why I picked this eyeshadow today. See you guys in the next one very soon. Bye!